Rasty McGibbon on this episode of 5 Minute Major. We got Lloyd Ney. Lloyd, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, happy to.
Probably, some people at home, there's probably 2 or 3 people at home that don't know who you are. Everybody else knows who you are. But you're an integral part of the ACHA, being in St. Louis and having such a successful tournament. Tell me about your involvement, kind of how it came, how it came to fruition, and then kind of take me into the McKendree of this year.
Oh, well, sure. Well, one thing I can tell you about St. Louis is that anytime that there's a hockey event, there are people that are always willing to help. I would tell you this is probably the best place in the country for amateur hockey events to be hosted because we have great facilities, we have great volunteers, and we have great support. If it's sports, St. Louis is going to support it. And so, having the ACHA here for a 5-year run has been great for the community. It's great for our hockey players too because we have such a large number of kids that come from St. Louis that play ACHA hockey. They're, between Lindenwood, Maryville, St. Louis University, Washington University, University of Missouri Columbia, McKendree. There's just so many programs that provide a lot of opportunity for kids to keep playing hockey at a competitive level. So when you put all that together, the success we've had over the years with our programs, combined with just sheer number of kids that are playing in the ACHA, this event makes a lot of sense to have here.
Yeah. A year to the day, and I know because it popped up on my Facebook feed, March 14th, which is like on my Facebook feed, it's Tornado Day.
It is.
We had a red alert here. We canceled games. Some games hadn't. One game hadn't started. One game had played 20 minutes of play, and then and I posted a clip that was somewhat serious, somewhat joking, but a ton of planning. It seemed in that 12-hour period by 10 o'clock the next morning, it's almost like we threw a switch and like, okay, let's throw the switch. Now we're going to go to Plan B. Okay, but the behind the scenes is not that easy. Tell me about what happened with us going to McKendree to continue the men's Division II pool play.
Well, an old friend of mine told me the key to having a great butcher shop is never let them see you make the sausage.
Right.
And, while it seemed like everything was just a contingency plan that got executed, there was a lot of people that worked a lot of strange hours to make sure that we could cover all those games. And again, just like I said before, it's something that's uniquely St. Louis for us to be able to get on the phone at 5 a.m. That's when we started, was at 5 a.m. calling other rink managers to be able to find solutions for a day's worth of games that were going to be canceled. And, it's a testament to the guys, how close they all are in terms of wanting these kind of events to be successful. When you call somebody at 5 a.m., there's either something really wrong or they're crazy enough to answer the phone.
Right.
And, it was great to be able to count on all those people while we were also hosting USA Hockey's Tier 1 Central District Regional Championship.
So, at the risk of leaving some people out just due to forgetting, name some of those people that were pivotal in keeping this going.
Well, first, Craig and Paul. I mean, those guys started wanting to execute a plan, at midnight. And usually, you call the rink guys at midnight. They're not going to answer, but got a chance to get them at 5 a.m.
And so, just for clarity,
Mike is over at McKendree.
Yeah,
does a great job. Kenny at St. Peter's, our good friends at Maryville, the staff at the Ice Zone, they all rallied around, and in a couple hours time, were able and willing to host a national championship game. Those guys don't grow on trees everywhere, and so just from a grateful St. Louis hockey community, we appreciate their efforts because it does elevate our city.
I mean, do you think for us visitors, that is probably the best manifestation of Midwest hospitality, like in what those guys did for us?
It is. I mean, there wasn't a word of no. We didn't hear the word no at all. I can tell you, like, the group out in St. Peter's hosting the Tier 1 regionals. They're showing up at the rink at 6 a.m. They've got competitive hockey games going all the way through 7:30. Can we add one more game? Sure can. Let us know how many you need.
It's awesome.
And I do have to tell you, Rasty, it's not hydro here; it's electricity.
Okay.
You know, you on your video, you're like, the hydro went out.
The hydro.
And I said, what are we talking about?
Old
here?
habits die hard.
I know, it's electricity here in the States.
All right, okay, yeah. Old habits die hard.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to get you on board. Don't worry. I'm going to get you on board.
Yeah, that's right.
It flows off the tongue easy.
It does.
It does. It was all tongue in cheek. Okay. Yeah. You have taken a position with the ACHA with your strategic planning. Can you give us any kind of teaser on just what's in the pipeline with there?
Yeah, so, you know, about a year ago, Craig asked if I would help shepherd a couple of projects, and it turned into the opportunity for any project to come on board. And, you know, ACHA leadership has a lot of really smart people that know what they're doing. And, you know, that's what I've learned through this process, working with a few programs, working with some coaches. They come up with great ideas, and some of them are executable, some of them might not be.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's common is that folks always have the best interest of growing the ACHA. I mean, I started in 1993 coaching at Ferris State University, you know, go Dogs, 1994 champs. But we started there, and the ACHA was just a loose organization of colleges. Paul Hebert was around then. And over time, you see it grow to 500 teams. Like, my goodness, that's massive, real growth. Isn't it? And it's organically, it's volunteer driven, you know, and so they're at a point now where they've grown a pretty serious organization. And with that comes challenges, opportunities, and, you know, the hope is that in the strategic planning role, we can look at the size of the ACHA and, you know, identify a few things that make sense to help grow the organization as a whole. And so that's what I get really excited about. I love being part of events like this, and I love being a part of things that can help grow, you know, adapt, right? Everything's changing around us as we're seeing, and, you know, and have the ability to advance the ACHA for the next 30 years. You know, it was 31 years ago was my first exposure to the ACHA, and there's somebody that's here right now playing in this tournament that 31 years from now is still going to be involved, still making it a better place.
Well, you know, it's incredible. I was talking to one of the coaches who's going to be in the men's 2 national final, and he said, you know what, 25 years ago, I won a national championship with Miami of Ohio as a player, and now back involved at the coaching level with the ACHA. And so I love that regeneration and you know, coming back and giving back. Just before we go, tell me about this facility. Tell me about you know the volunteers here. I mean, you know, it's incredible the effort that we get that's palpable from the volunteers who are assembled here. It's incredible.
It's really simple. Folks here love hockey. They love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
They love to contribute to it. And there is a serious sense of pride when it comes to our hockey here in St. Louis. You know, it's only been 9 years, but 9 years ago, we had more kids picked in the first round of the NHL draft than the entire province of Ontario. And that fuels that pride that we have in our hockey community, from 8-year-olds all the way up to what we're seeing today here with Lindenwood, you know, putting themselves in a position to maybe win a national championship, coached by kids that grew up here, grew up playing here in the St. Louis community, and now are giving back through coaching. It's an amazing thing. That's why these kind of events fit well here, and that's why Frozen Four is coming here this year.
Yep.
And when you start looking at all of the events that have come to St. Louis over the years, it's the people. It's that people want to help and they want to support it. You know, we set the record for Frozen Four attendance 20 years ago, 18 years ago, whenever it was. And it's because people support their hockey here. This facility is a manifestation of that. When you have a facility that's this good and gets this many things going here, it's all about St. Louis hockey. That's really what it is. People don't know the word no around here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Lloyd, thanks so much for everything you do. We may not agree on hydro, but I will concede your enthusiasm is electric. Lloyd Ney, Rasty McGibbon, 5-minute major.